Hey there, everybody. You see the pile, so you know what time it is, right? I'm here to do your pick a card reading for the new moon in Capricorn that's occurring on January 18th. I'm taping this on Friday the 16th and doing an early release for members. That's a part of your bonus. And part of my offerings to you is to give you the reading ahead of time, and then I suppose I will release it to the public a little bit later. So here we go. If you've been with me before, you know how this process works. Just in case this is your first time to one of my pick a cards, the way this works is you tune in to the catalyst stones that Spirit led me to for these three piles. Sometimes people immediately know what pile they're drawn to. Other people choose two. Other people choose and get messages from all three piles. So there's no right or wrong. Just go with whatever your gut feels. And again, if you're new to my pick of cards, I go from various decks, tarot and oracle, but I have not seen any of these cards. I cleanse the decks. I pray, I meditate, I ask for a message relative to this new moon energy in Capricorn, thinking about we're still sort of at the start of the year, Capricorn being a very disciplined, goal oriented, practical earth sign, taking real concrete is the word Spirit is giving me, concrete steps towards your goals, making sure that you make measured progress, thinking about the mountain goat, and even if the mountain is really, really steep, somehow those goats manage to find their footing and go up, and get to their destination. So again, that Capricorn resilience, persistence, strength and fortitude, and mental strength and fortitude as well. All right, so thinking about your money, thinking about how you're moving in the world, all of those things. So here we go. Pile number one, if you are drawn to this Super 7, beautiful raw piece of Super 7 quartz, all right? It's got all those beautiful colors in it. So that'll be pile number one, the Super 7 quartz. Pile number two, please forgive me. I don't even know. It's some sort of, and it feels so smooth and marbly, but I'll hold it up. It's in the shape of a heart. It feels like some sort of agate. But I just want to hold that up for you if you're drawn to that. Pile number two, the heart shaped, I'm going to call it an agate. And pile number three, beautiful piece of quartz, clear quartz. All right, nice cluster there of clear quartz if you're drawn to that. All right, you all, I'll give you a second to breathe that in, hone in, see what pulls you. Pile number one, pile number two, or pile number three. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and pull these to the side. And let's get ready to go in on pile number one and see what your message is regarding this new moon in Capricorn. What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What are your ambitions? What are you willing to work for persistently? Okay, we're going to put our Super 7 over here on the side and let's see what came for you. We have the Knight of Swords right out the bottom of the deck there. Knights are movement. So what are you thinking about? Planning, writing, what's going on in your journals? With the Three of Wands, definitely looking toward the future, looking toward some, for many of you, threes aren't necessarily starting something. So coming with this, it could be a business plan or a letter or an email, or it's even just conversations, things that you have already talked about openly in regards to what you're moving toward, what you want to have happen in the future. You've got the Six of Wands. They call it a passion's embrace on this card. I'll read you the keywords. There's some choices and romance and harmony. That's really interesting. And you know what? I take this back. This deck is designed a little differently. That's the Lovers. I just realized that looking at those keywords. That's actually the Lovers. So those are some decisions that you're making around who is it that you're growing with, your partnerships. Who is it that you're growing with? Who is it that inspires you? Who have you been talking to in regards to your plans for the coming year? Again, we're in January where a lot of us are, thinking about setting those goals and intentions and that sort of thing. And your fourth tarot is the what is that? The Five of Swords. Ooh, bitter triumph. Okay, Now let's talk about that because you got that Knight of Swords. The Five of Swords could be a little stubbornness setting in on your end, and that could be okay. But it could be that some of the ideas or conversations that you're having around this growth and around, they're telling me put this over here, this partnership to growth, it could be a little tough. There could be where, some situations where you're having to dig in your heels and stick to what your ideas are and how you really feel about them, because we know that five of swords is sometimes where there's a little resistance, a little conflict, and sometimes even just confusion or a lack of focus, where you know what it is you want to do, how you want to move forward, but you may be having some issues around articulating that. You've got the 11th house that comes, and that is the house of Aquarius, right? That is the house of thinking big. Talk about that Three of Wands, thinking big, thinking collectively, thinking about what your long term vision is and the changes that will be required in order for you to reach that long term vision in the 11th house. You've got be real, full moon in Aquarius. Now, we just had that 11th house Aquarius energy, and now you've got be real, keep it real. I think that is very tied to that Five of Swords energy, and I'm going to keep that near that Knight of Swords as well, because what Spirit is saying here, confirming for you all, be honest, even if it means having some tough conversations, even if it means getting really real with yourself, be real with yourself in your own expectations. What are you really ready to do to launch a partnership, to launch, because this doesn't look like something you're doing by yourself. This looks like something that requires the cooperation or perhaps your vision to work with others, because that Lover's card, again, this is decisions, but decisions that are harmonious, decisions that impact whoever it impacts. It's about the best outcome for you, but also the best outcome for others who may be involved in this, and that's what gets you going. So you got to be real about that, and you got to trust. And this could also indicate some of that struggle in that Five of Swords, because to form the partnership, you have to trust. You also have to trust in your decision making. You have to trust who it is and how it is that you are choosing to move forward and grow. This could be, and when I'm talking about partnerships, you all, I'm not saying necessarily like going into business with somebody or, a formal relationship. Your partnerships are also your friendships. They're also who you're aligning yourself with. Who are you absorbing information from? Who are you talking to and talking things out with? And that's why you got that be real. You've got a first quarter, and notice it says focus, the key word on the first quarter moon. So this is the first quarter moon takes place after a full moon, right? So something between now and after the next full moon, this is a new moon in Capricorn. So sometime in early to mid February is going to be really a powerful time for you all in making this decision and having some clarity come around your goals. I say that as well because remember, you got that 11th house indicating Aquarius, and that would be around the time of February. So February is going to be a really pivotal month for you all if you chose this pile number one. It's going to be a time when I think you're going to get really clear about how to express your beliefs and your decisions and your desires about what it takes for you to trust yourself as well as others to form partnerships moving towards this growth. But look, you've got success. All right. So the way that you go about it, Spirit is saying you're going to be okay. Or at least, at the very least, you do have serious potential for success. This growth, you're headed in the right direction. Be real, trusting yourself, recognizing that to the extent that there may be some you may have an idea to do something and somebody who has supposedly has your best interest at heart, or maybe they really do, but how they, well, I don't know about that. You might want to think twice and make sure you know what you're doing. Those kinds of things that can set up a little conflict. But Spirit is saying you will make decisions that lead to success as long as you keep it real. You got some signs coming towards you. Pay attention. And I'm seeing, because of those birds, I'm seeing especially pay attention to birds, pay attention to the sky, pay attention to energies that you may get around sunrise or sunset in particular. The keywords at the bottom says, may you see the synchronicities. So Spirit's going to be talking to you, especially in during Aquarius season. I know this is still Capricorn season and this is a new moon in Capricorn, but there's something coming up for you all, pile number one, very, very strong around the month of February. And there's going to be some signs. Again, look to the sky, birds for some of you, and also I feel like time of day, sunrise or sunset. Here is imagination that comes in. Don't hesitate to dream big. You know, that's part of what Capricorn energy is about. It is about setting goals and seeing the big picture and having a dream, but really taking the steps to implement it. So there's imagine the success, but trust and believe in the success of what you're planning and thinking. Trust that it can be a success, that it's designed to be a success, and tune out any other energy that comes toward you that may try to distract from that. Okay, you've got Bastet's joy for guidance. Celebrate the small victories the small victories in your life. Take time to enjoy simple pleasures and moments of happiness. Incorporate fun and playfulness into your daily routine. All right. So while you're doing all of this, and I think that goes really well with that card of imagination, because this does feel like playtime for you all, pile number one. Part of your ability to grow, Spirit is saying it has a lot to do with your ability to think, like what you imagine, and treating it like playtime, treating it like, what if this happened, and what if I met this person, and what would it feel like to be here or be there? Like, let your imagination run wild, and that is spiritual. That's a part of you doing the spiritual work. You've got control room goals. Now, that's a Capricorn energy, and I feel like this is saying, Spirit is saying, you are in control of the levers. You do. This is your operation here, pile number one. And while you may want to partner with others and talk to others about it and plan with others, there's something about you having confidence in your ability to control the direction of it. I also am getting, as I'm seeing how this is coming together, if you are currently working with others, but your part in it, sometimes you find yourself stepping back or letting others really lead the way when you've got your own ideas about how it's supposed to go. That's what that control room goals is speaking to. And that's what that be real is speaking to. Don't worry if even though that says bitter triumph, because sometimes it's that determination to have your point of view heard no matter what. But there's a part of that the Spirit is saying you should. You own it. This is your success. Trusting in your own abilities and in your ability to control the flow of things. Control how your plans get implemented. And this, for some of you, I'm hearing this is on a very basic level. This could even be your home life, where you live, how you may be planning to redecorate or redo something, and it requires cooperation. But Spirit is saying you'll succeed as long as you listen to your own voice and not be afraid to take control. Take the wheel. Authentic. The penguin comes for you as a power animal during this time, this new moon in Capricorn. And notice again, you've got that authentic, be real. So very clear message for you, pile number one. Being very, I want to read what it says here. Reach out to your tribe in times of need. Family gives you strength when you face the storm. Love your uniqueness, very much Aquarius energy, uniqueness. You are full of surprises. Break free from others' expectations. Just be yourself. You got it? For some of you, this even may be a period of a little bit of spirit is saying separation anxiety, but I don't see it as like you're literally, you got to break away from someone or something, but it is about not letting others take the reins when you know what you're doing, and you know what you're doing and how to do it. That's what this is speaking to. You've got a power struggle that comes up. All right, this is flushing some of this out. Control and influence are being tested. Be mindful of who holds the power in this situation. Are you leading with integrity, or are you being led by someone else's agenda? So see, that spirit never makes mistakes. I do my best to try and interpret what's coming, but spirit gives the cards for sure. They give the messages. So that's what this is. Pile number 1. Whoever's voice, experience, this could be a relationship, an intimate relationship, going back to that lover's card. This could be a business relationship. It could be a mentor. It could be someone whose opinion you really value. It could be a supervisor at work, a manager, but anyone who has a position of influence with you. That's what a lot of this energy is speaking to. The success is about you taking control of that and using your imagination to do a what if scenario. What if I did it this way? What if I spoke up more on my own behalf? What would happen if? Not so much challenge that authority, but this power struggle feels something like an internal process that you're going to be going through during this new moon in Capricorn. Your own authority, not relying on the authority of others, even if you really highly respect them. That's okay. But that authority, you shouldn't give your own power completely over to them, is what I think Spirit is saying. And your last card is celebration. Look at that. Get ready to celebrate. Success, right? Success is yours through playful imagination. And it says here, kick off the party activities and have a great time. Plan for a joyful future. You see that? There's a freedom that's coming. And again, this leads me back to this Aquarius energy, the 11th house that we saw, the be real that came in Aquarius energy. There's something there where there's a freedom that you feel. It's almost as if you may have to have a conversation with someone and say, listen, just hear me out, right? And in doing that, it sets you free. It really does. It sets you free to really trust yourself. Know that how you're feeling and what you express is the right thing for you. And that it puts you back in the driver's seat. You have more control over it. And this is really giving you a path to authenticity, to showing up and not being afraid to be different, which is also an Aquarius energy. All right. All right. Pile number 1. I hope that was helpful. Definitely the overarching message that I feel for you all in this pile is do not be afraid or reluctant to express your truth and to trust your own inner voice and instincts. Especially if you find yourself measuring that against the opinions of someone that you really do highly regard or love. If it's a relationship, your viewpoint is very crucial right now, and it is what leads you to success. All right, that's it. Let's get to pile number 2. Those who chose this juicy, beautiful, heart-shaped piece of I just want to say agate. I'm not sure, but it just feels like some form of agate to me. All right, let's see what came for you for this new moon in Capricorn. Yeah, the 7 of coins. I like that you're coming out in earth, right? What's grown already? What have you poured your energy into? And it may be a time where you're saying, okay, I want to stop and assess it. You've got the Chariot that comes with it. Family, moving ahead. Taking a moment maybe even to decide where you want to go next, because that's this assessment and the Chariot, where to next, what now? I've done this amount of work, I've accomplished this my project or my desires, my health has come so far. Now I got to figure out what's next. You've got the no, this is this deck doesn't put the name of the major arcana on it. That's what throws me, but I love the imagery on here. That's the Hermit, sacred solitude. That's also really healing. And you were drawn to this heart-shaped agate. I'm feeling for some of you, this may be around health. And this could be financial health as well as physical health. But we know that the Hermit very often comes with issues of health, with its Virgo energy, Mercury energy, moving forward in wisdom with that owl on the top of that staff, moving forward under the guidance and taking time out to yourself to assess where to next. So this new moon in Capricorn is showing me right out the gate that you may need some time to yourself, pile number 2. You may need some time to figure out and go to spirit and decide for yourself where you want to go next, because this is about your work. It is about your routines. It is about your health. It is about the service that you may provide to others if this has to do with business. Your last, I do 4 tarot. Your last tarot is the 4 of Cups, and it says an offer that's gone unnoticed. A little dissatisfaction there for those of us who know the traditional meanings of tarot. So a little boredom, a little where, but remember too, the offer very often in the 4 of Cups, what we have to remember, the offer that goes unnoticed, the thing that may have you feeling a little like, I don't know, a little bored, a little disinterested, a little unmotivated, a little stuck, a little stagnant. It's because you're focused on the problems at hand rather than the solutions that could be offered to you by spirit. And that's also probably why you got that Hermit energy, where spirit is saying, when you feel yourself a little blah, that's the time to step away and really tighten up with spirit, because look what comes, Jupiter. There's growth on the horizon for you. This new moon in Capricorn is ready to bring you growth beyond. And so talk about that. You started out with your 7 of Pentacles, things already growing, things already in motion, whether it's your money, your health, recovering from something, building something, business, even love, family, because of that Chariot energy ruled by Cancer. It could even have to do with that. But whatever it is you've been applying your energy to that's gaining some kind of momentum, because you've got that 7 of coins. But this is where you're like, okay, I've done this much. How much more do I need to do to get where I'm trying to go? And spirit is saying a little bit more. You might have to peel off some time and get with spirit. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop feeling a little stagnant and like, I don't even know if I want it anymore. That's the vibe spirit's giving me for some of you. It's like, I don't even know if I want this anymore. Maybe I'm ready to switch up. But no, stay the course, Capricorn. Capricorn, go up the mountain. Stay the course, because there is growth that's happening for you. And it says here, take a reality check. And look, it says full moon in Capricorn, even though we are in a new moon. But take a reality check. That's everything to do. I'm going to lay that right there on top. That's everything to do with that 7 of Pentacles energy, you all. And that's what this period of time is for you. That's what spirit is saying in this new moon in Capricorn. It's just a reality check. That's what solitude does for you. Or taking a step back to figure out, why am I not motivated? I want to move forward. I'm just not quite sure how. I know that I want to grow. I want to be more. I want to do more. I want to feel more from life. So it's time to take a reality check, because look at you, got psychic abilities. Okay, pile number 2, psychic abilities. For some of you, this is definitely pointing to a journey that you are on with spiritual growth. The Hermit is a deeply spiritual card, and it is the card of someone who sometimes you have to go your own way. That solitude is not about trying to isolate yourself, but it is about saying, listen, you may, loved ones, family, co-workers, children, whomever, You may not quite understand what I'm doing or why I want to do it this way, but that does not diminish the fact that I gotta do it. So your psychic abilities are what are, in fact, Spirit is telling me put that over there with Jupiter, because that's what's about to grow. Your psychic abilities are about to take off. You've got water, feel. Water as an element that comes up for you right now, pile number 2. And Spirit says, feel it. When you put yourself into a space of feeling, noticing as well that you got that Chariot ruled by Cancer, a water sign, thinking as well how water complements earth. Water feeds the earth, right? Water is, and getting in touch with your feelings, paying attention to the signs that you get, talk about psychic abilities, paying attention to the signs that you get or the hunches that you get when you're bathing or in the shower, taking a bath or in the shower. You may want to take a bath if you haven't done so in a while. Sit in a tub and soak in some nice, salt water or salt baths or Epsom salts or something like that with magnesium. Feed your muscles and your tendons. But there's water. And drinking more water as well, really staying hydrated. Water is a conduit. And there's wisdom that you get. Your psychic abilities are somehow, at this point in time anyway, tied to water. And look, listen, Spirit's ready to talk to you. And they want you to take the time. Going back to that hermit, they want you to take some time alone so that you can get the messages. Because right now, I get with that, going back to that 4 of Cups, I think, and which is also water, I think that some of you you're trying to listen. But by the time you sit down to listen, by the time you put yourself in a state of meditation or try to, you're coming at it from a position of, you know, like kind of tired, a little wiped out, and that's impacting your ability to listen. So there's a cleansing process here. Take a reality check. Take some time to think about being grateful in that Capricorn energy, what you've already achieved. 7 of Pentacles, what you've already achieved, what you've already built, like really giving yourself a pat on the back. And then when you're feeling a little higher in your vibration, lifted a little bit, then start to listen. You've got conserve. May you find the balance. Conserve. Don't overgive. And for some of you, that's why you are in this period of self-assessment or having to get back in touch with yourself, because you've overgiven. And especially with psychic abilities, if you chose this and you work in the psychic realm, whether you work professionally or whether you're just more inclined to the psychic arts, it's time to pull back some of your energy and conserve it so that you can grow it. It's time to do a little bit of take a reality check. It's time to do a little bit of self-assessment. And again, remember the Hermit ruled by Virgo. So this is about your routine, your spiritual routine, and being of service to others. If you are in the healing field, or even a nurse or mental health professional, or a chef even, I just heard, anything where you provide something to others, it's important for you right now to conserve some of your energy, because it may start to feel like I've done so much in that 7 of Pentacles. I've done so much. I want to move on. Like, what am I really getting out of it? I'm ready to move on to the next phase. This current stage of things, Capricorn's ambitious. It wants to keep moving forward. It needs to have a goal to reach. That's what's happening here. And in order to do it well, to grow, you got to conserve some of your energy right now. And here comes abundance. Don't you love it? For a new moon in Capricorn, abundance. You know what's really cool about this is I see your cards coming together, pile number 2. It's the antithesis or the opposite of what we think will lead to abundance. Do more, do more, do more. Try harder, put out more. And Spirit is saying, take a reality check. Get in touch with yourself. Take a step back. Take some self-care days. Take some personal days so that you can start your growth in abundance. Jupiter tied to that abundance is hand in hand. All right. So that's what you have to do. But it is about conservation, and it is about taking care of yourself. That is what recharges your batteries, because that's what that 4 cups energy is about. Is when when you start getting blah and unmotivated and not really being able to see the forest for the trees, it's because you put out too much. And if you are working in the psychic field, that's what's happening. You've put out too much. And so it's time for you to take some time with spirit. Get into some water. Apparently, you've got a deep connection with water and with the Cancer energy of that chariot. And begin to think about where you want to move forward. Taking that assessment of the 7 of Pentacles, reality check. Here's where I want to go move forward. And Spirit is saying, listen, I'm ready to talk to you. You've got Horus, empowerment with guidance. Empower yourself through self-affirmation. Recognize your strengths and capabilities. Use positive affirmations to build confidence and encourage a proactive approach to challenges. That's all tied into what you've been seeing so far around this Hermit energy, needing to conserve, needing to do a little self-care, needing to regroup and have some you time, having your spirit fed, and you do this again through your emotions, through the power of water, through the element of water. That is so incredible. And self-affirmations, write it down, speak it out loud, listen to music or tapes where you are getting those affirmative messages about your abundance, about your capabilities, about your path to growth, right? New moon in Capricorn, that energizes you to keep climbing, to keep going, to keep building. But you build through conservation. They're showing me the image again of the mountain goat, talking about Capricorn, new moon in Capricorn. Very rarely, if you see videos of mountain goats, sometimes they look like they're frozen on the mountain, right? They don't hit the mountain at a running clip and just go brrr all the way up. Sometimes they have to stop and study and pay attention to where they put their next step. But gradually, one way or another, no matter how steep that mountain, they will make it to the top. That's what's happening there with that conserve your energy. And look, wow, how gorgeous is that? Ancient wisdom. I also am drawn to the fact that he has that wand similar to your hermit. And in most depictions of the hermit, where they move with a lighted wand. And that light is the light of spirit. That light is knowing that even though you may have to slow down and take a beat, reality check, you are never alone. That light is the light of the world, is the light of the universe, is the light of source. You are never alone. And that's this ancient wisdom that's coming to reassure you, pile number 2. Definitely time for you to take a retreat is the word that I'm also hearing. Even if you could go to a retreat or go to a spa or go to a place that feels like a retreat, amazing. If you cannot, it is about building that energy in your own space. You've got power that comes, the grizzly bear. The message, I am indestructible. I honor my intuition and go where it leads. Love and gentleness are my real strengths. I never give up. I will succeed. Ooh, if that ain't some Capricorn energy for you right there. I never give up. I will succeed. You see that? I want to hold that up in case you want to screenshot it. I never give up. I will succeed. The grizzly bear. Wow. I love and gentleness are my real strengths. And that brings me to that chariot with the Cancer energy, water, love, emotions. That's your strength. So don't think, sometimes we push our emotions down because there's the idea that when you are emotional, it weakens you. That's the conditioning that we get. When you get emotional, you're weakened. If you get too lovey or too tapped into love instead of fighting, then that means you're operating from a deficit. Quite the opposite here. Tap into the energy of the grizzly bear. Listen, because there's great, tremendous, powerful strength there. You've got relocation that comes. Life is calling you to a new location, bringing with it the energy of evolution and greater purpose. This move is guiding you closer to a place that feels like home. If you see this and this is your pile you chose and you are in fact thinking about a move and relocating, boom, spirit's talking to you. For some of you, I think this could even be on a local level, going to places and trying things in a different location than you typically go to, right? If you have a certain habit, a gym or something that you go to, or a certain route that you take, a walking route, or just whatever, switching it up and going your own way in that relocation. But clearly, if you are thinking about relocation, there's a clear answer for you there. Love life. Free from problems and money troubles, enjoy the passion of love. Love and be loved. No wonder you got that water element, pile number 2. And no wonder you were drawn to a heart. This agate. It's there for you. Remembering as well that we are going into February, Valentine's Day, love season, or at least a time when many of us are focused on love and our relationship to love. And if it's self-love, love of another, love of family, a pet, however, love of God, of source, right? What is your love life? And tuning into that. And sometimes for some of you, it may be relocating in relation to connecting with a partner. And maybe that relocation isn't permanent. Maybe it's you're being called to a new location because that's where you meet the person, but it is tied to your love life. Your love life is very, very important to you right now. And that's where you're ready to grow in abundance, an abundance of love, an abundance of this powerful protection energy with the grizzly, showing up and not being afraid to show up in love. And the power of love. Water will, as we know, water wears down rocks. Talk about the mountain lion. Water will wear down that mountain. All right. You can't be stopped, pile number 2. You cannot be stopped, but you need to conserve your energy. You need a little reset. Take a reality check. You need a reset. That's what's happening for you in this new moon in Capricorn. Time for a reset, recalibrate, soften up, open up, let your heart flow. And that is where your power is. That's where your strength lies, in your emotions. Okay? All right. And finally, pile number 3, those of you who were drawn to this beautiful chunk of quartz crystal. Let's see what this new moon in Capricorn has for you. All right, starting out hot, coming in hot. We have the King of Wands. They call it Mastery of Wands there. King of Wands, know what you want, how you want it, when to get it, where to go to get it, how it was supposed to be had, or not. 10 of Swords, doubting. Spirit said, slow your roll, Fefe. Doubting your capabilities, doubting your creativity, doubting your mastery over your vision. But also keeping in mind that when we get to the 10, it's over. And I love that Scorpion is there because it runs deep. This passion runs deep. This could also be a person around you who is reflected in that King of Wands energy. It could be somebody, regardless of gender, someone of a fire sign who's around you, who's really going through or presenting in a stressed out way. And maybe even venomous. This could be someone who's argumentative because they're coming in fire. And I'm looking at that Scorpion. It could be someone who sometimes is speaking harsh words. This could be you finding yourself speaking harsh words or having harsh thoughts and getting kind of fired up. I want to see what comes here. Diligent mastery. The 8 of Cups. Getting a grip. Getting a grip on your emotions. Getting a grip on anger. And if this is not you, if this is someone in your life, them getting a grip, because that's really what the 8 of Cups is about. So many people just refer to it as withdrawing from something or walking away from something, but it really is emotional intelligence. It is mastering your emotions, and sometimes you have to walk away from how things have typically been done in order to get that grip and master your emotions. You've got the Queen of Pentacles. No, yeah, Queen of Pentacles. Empathetic Empress. No, this is the Queen of Cups. Empathetic Empress. I had to pay attention to the sign there. That's a cup sign. That symbol is cups. So the Queen of Cups, and I see that water around her and the water flowing. Look how beautiful she is. Empathetic Empress. And I can't help but notice, I just looked down. The next card that's coming is Scorpio. Water. You got that Scorpion in that Ten of Swords. There is, if you chose this pile, this new moon in Capricorn is really urging you to have an emotional reset, either because of emotions within yourself that have gotten out of control, but that you're trying to come to some sort of resolution with. Again, emotional mastery in that Eight of Cups. Well, that is ultimately what Scorpio does. Scorpio gets to the root of whatever it does. Like, you can't hide anything from Scorpio energy. It will get to the bottom of it. It will get to the root of it. It will go to the deepest depths of whatever to come out and emerge with the truth of a situation. And I think this empathetic Empress is offering a solution to whatever this energy is. Again, whether it's within yourself, some built up, pent up anger or anxiety that you're trying to get a grip on. And to do that, you got to get to the deepest truth of it, but you will. And because the Empress is saying, I'm here to bring you that energy of feeling loved and nurtured and capable and emotionally mature, right? Empathetic Empress. Now, you've got a new moon in Leo, time to shine. Don't you love it? That's interesting. There's a healing either in you or someone close to you. And as you dig down and get to the root of what it takes to get into that healing energy, then through this empathy that the Queen of Cups is offering, you show up. Sunflowers start blooming. You know, this moon will start to move off from the sun so that the shine really starts to occur. Remembering as well that symbolically, sunflowers turn to face the sun. It doesn't matter where they are when that sun comes up, sunflowers will turn towards the sun. You need some sunlight as well, pile number 3. You need some sunlight. And if you're in a place where sunlight is hard to come by, maybe you can get to a red light sauna. I've been doing that lately. I'm a huge fan of it. A red light sauna or something that gives you access to light. And I'm looking here, even look at all this light that comes in your next card, and it says friendship. You need to be around like-minded people, people of high vibes, people who help you shine, people who see your potential to shine. Because I think for some of you, again, if this energy here is coming in relation to someone around you who you have utilized your nurturing capabilities to try and talk them off the ledge, or if that's you needing to get talked off the ledge, then what helps you is being around, paying attention to who your tribe is. And if you don't have one, cultivate. Maybe it's time to cultivate. Remembering new moon in Capricorn. Capricorn sets goals. Capricorn is ambitious. Capricorn, is persistent in its pursuit of what it wants. So maybe for some of you, you want friendship circles. You want to be around more like-minded people. And Spirit is saying, okay, let's do that. Here comes Venus with love. So opportunities to do that being presented to you, pile number 3. Okay? And there's also, again, some healing going on. If this is someone around you, and this could even be, they're reminding me, Spirit is reminding me, this could even be someone from your past. For some of you, this could be someone from your past who really did a number on you. And you did everything you knew to try and take care of them, try and be empathetic toward them. And it just didn't go anywhere, or it didn't go where it needed to go. And so you, at a certain point, you had to go through your, okay, I gotta step away from this. And now that, and having gone through all of that, that Venus love and that friendship, that's the energy that's coming towards you, starting off the year, this being January, and again, a new moon, setting goals. Spirit is saying that that is something that will be really helpful for you. Your perspective is also very important right now. What is your perspective? You know, is it I'm tired of being taken advantage of. I don't, I'd rather cut off my source of love, or I'd rather cut off my empathy and my ability to show up in my full emotional self. I'd rather not take that risk and walk away emotionally. But Spirit is saying, that's where your perspective has to shift, because when your perspective shifts, then you bring this in, and look, you've got surrender over this water. May you release the old. Okay. Now, I didn't see that until I just looked at it. Going back to what I said a moment ago, this energy could be something from the past. It could be someone from the past who stressed you out, had a hot temper, maybe said some things, Ten of Swords, maybe said some things to you that were harmful, hurtful. But this is let it go. And talk about surrendering the old. You know what? I'm going to put this friendship over here by Venus. And I'm going to put that surrendering the old with that Eight of Cups. And that diligent mastery. And talk about diligence again. New moon in Capricorn. Capricorn is nothing if not diligent. It will do no matter how long it takes. No matter how high the mountain is. Capricorn is known for its ability to get there. Sooner or later, it will not give up. It is persistent energy. So perhaps you're healing, love, Venus, this Queen of Cups energy, your healing has taken some time, or it will take some time. And that's okay. Because again, you got that Scorpio energy, and Scorpio will, however long it takes, it will go as deep as it needs to get to the root and handle it. All right. You have reflection, also a watery energy. I love that, reflection. There is definitely, I'm going to put this right on top of here, because the more that comes, the more that I'm seeing. This is some of you are putting something that happened in the past still into perspective. And if it could have been romantic, it could have been business, it could have been family. But what you need right now, and what is really helpful to you, is this friendship group, is this tribe, is this loving people that you don't feel threatened by, having a perspective of being open and willing and being able to show up and shine in that group as you surrender to this healing that you're undergoing. All right, pile number 3. And you've got Osiris's renewal. Wow, powerful word, renewal. Embrace change as an opportunity for growth. Let go of old habits or situations that no longer serve you. Start a new routine or project that aligns with your current aspirations. You see how well that fits into everything else you've been getting? It's time to let go of the old. And if that old did damage to you, or if some of your own behaviors over a period of time have been more damaging than good, now's the time to shift that perspective and let it go. And Capricorn will help you do it. Scorpio, the tenacity of Scorpio will help you do it. You've got intention. There you have it. And talk about new moons, right? New moons being that time when we set intentions. Talk about new year, that time when we set our intentions. Perfect time for you, and very, very clear message, pile number 3. This is a time where you set your intention to finally do the last bit of reflection that you need to do on who this person was, what that situation was, what it is within yourself that has to shift, even if that means giving yourself radical self-care, radical loving and nurturing and love Venus in a way that you did not get it, rather than walk away. It is surrendering the old so that you can have new. That's the intention that you're setting. There's protection that comes for you. And notice it's also that turtle watery energy. As you got that Scorpio, you are master, it's a sea turtle. You are master of finding life's flow. Be in harmony with the rhythm and your path will unfold. Persevere, Capricorn energy. Persevere and you will succeed. You have everything you need to be protected and happy. By all means, look up the sea turtle. Look up the metaphysical meaning and look up the sea turtle as an animal totem. Look up all the spiritual aspects of a sea turtle and see what messages you get from that, pile number 3. Okay? And even that shell, thinking about the shell of a turtle. Because you've been through some stuff, clearly. But you're ready to emerge from it. You're ready to flow in this energy, that empathetic empress. You're ready to flow in that energy. You're ready to flow in that Venus energy. You're ready to accept the friendships that help you get there, that help you feel a part of that part of you that's ready to shine. That Leo, that part of you that's ready to shine. And you shine well when you are with others who also share your perspective. All right? Look at this, limitless. Let that soak in. Limitless is a message from Spirit for you, pile number 3. And it says here, this is your invitation to think bigger, dream bigger. The world has placed limits on what's possible, and now it's time to see for yourself what's beyond them. What's beyond those limits? What's beyond what this person or thing or event did to you or said to you, or where you experienced something that made you think you were limited. Maybe you weren't lovable. Maybe you weren't strong enough. Maybe you weren't capable. All of that is what's being ready to shift now. But and in the new moon in Capricorn is saying, but you got to set that intention. You got to get at the base of that mountain and climb it step by step. That diligent mastery, emotional mastery for you. Because look at your last card. I could not have asked for better to end on. Success. All right? Embrace that. Breathe that in. Own it. And it says, choosing the right direction and actively overcoming difficulties. Excuse me. You're on the right track. And there's your trophy. Okay? I feel like Spirit just dropped the mic. Boop. Okay? You're on the right track. You're just at this last bit of, it's almost as if for some of you, you've done a lot of healing work to put something, reflection, to put a lot of things that happened in perspective. But now it's seeing the other side of that. It's seeing what's ready to come in. The friendship, the love, the empathy and self-care, setting your intentions, the protection in a great way, being limitless because you've surrendered it to Spirit. All right, my darlings? All right. I hope that was helpful. I wish you the absolute best as we continue to kick off 2026. And I will talk to you a little bit later. Thank you again so much, my members. I have such a great time with you all when we gather for our monthly call. And I love seeing you. I love talking to you. And I can't wait to do it again. All right. Take good care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.